This first question is something that I'm extremely passionate about. How can tech companies foster a culture that prioritizes accessibility throughout the development lifecycle? Adrian had some really great points about the tooling pieces along the way. And I think one of the things that I need to share before I dive into this question is I used to be that bullheaded developer. I was. My first job, Julie Romanowski, StateFarm.com, I was a developer, and accessibility came into the fold, and I was that dev that was like, I don't have any time for this stuff. I'm not doing that, right? Just another process on top of Jira, on top of unit testing, all that stuff. I don't have time for that crap, right? But in that time frame, one, I realized I was wrong, first and foremost, so just so everybody knows. But two, I realized the big issue. Development teams are so hard to crack. It's like an outer shell that if you just go in and say, hey, go use tools, they'll say, fantastic, I'm using tools, we're accessible now, right? If you don't give them any guidance, it's a hard shell to crack. And so when I like talking about this, or why I like talking about it, is because there is a way to slowly crack that shell. And it's just a few simple steps to get there. So again, back to my point of, if you just throw something at a development team, they are going to reject it holistically immediately. They already have 1,000 things to worry about, right? Maybe 999, but what's 1,000 if you add accessibility to it, right? Start simple. Whether you're a mobile application team, whether you're a web application team, start simple. Start enforcing semantic elements. The amount of development libraries out there right now, JavaScript frameworks, Swift UI, Jetpack Compose, name it. You can make custom elements all day, and then you have to train everybody up on how to be ARIA ninjas, and we don't want that, right? So use semantic elements, right?
A specific type of kid, and so that's the thing. But it's important for kids, I think, as soon as they start learning about, computers, as soon as they start really using computers and understanding what they're doing, they should know about accessibility, because that also helps them, really the stigma of disability, because, once they do that and they understand accessibility, there's not that, that it helps to really prevent that learned ableism that can come about, as they grow older. And so that's kind of been my thing of really, getting in and really teaching them about accessibility, because then that also makes our jobs a bit easier as they grow and then they go into the workforce and they already understand these elements. Yeah.
But also practitioners, from my experience, recognize how broken the web is. Let me just spin up the web million. Anybody off the top of their head, how many pages have accessibility barriers? I'm going to run with all of them because it's not necessarily wrong. And if we consider that all LLM models, which is really, the questioner didn't define AI, and that's okay. And I'm going to run at it primarily from the context of LLMs. But if we understand that the corpus of information they're trained on is itself fundamentally inaccessible in many new and exciting ways, every time somebody rolls out some new weird pattern, it's fair to assume that the garbage in, garbage out model applies. That doesn't mean the output from an LLM is necessarily wrong, but it doesn't mean that it's always going to be right. It means that we still have to have humans in the loop. And I said this before about accessibility is for humans. It's not for AIs, it's not for checklists, it's not for, some organizations are going to have very specific goals for it, but we're doing the work because I like to think because we want to support our fellow humans. And part of that ensures that part of that is about ensuring the work that we do isn't creating more harm. So you still have to have a human